Hello friends. Well, today under this module we will talk about managing workplace anxiety. Well, workplace anxiety has become the order, or rather the norm in today's world. Everywhere you go in any workplace, people are always looking anxious and people are always sounding very worried. Well, it also leads to people having many smokes a day or gulping down many cups of tea and coffee every day. Well, in today's module, we will make you understand how do you manage your workplace anxiety in a better way. Well, on the agenda, we will cover definition of what exactly is workplace anxiety, what are the different models of workplace anxiety, common work-related stressors. We will also talk about methods that associates, managers and organizations cause to manage stress and promote the well-being of their individual employees. Now, what exactly is the definition of workplace anxiety? Well, the likelihood is that workplace will never be completely free of anxiety. Now, anxiety is defined as either a high or a low, a mild or a severe feeling of unease, worry and fear. This means that in many cases, the managers have to take the lead in identifying anxiety at their workplace. So we will never really come to a point wherein every organization can say that we are free of anxiety, because work and anxiety really go hand in hand at times. What you can do, or what the leaders and managers of the organization can do, is try to identify what or where is the anxiety and take measurable results of how do you remove that anxiety in their life. Well, what exactly is job strain? Job strain is a function of a workplace demands and the control an individual has in meeting those demands. Whenever one is working at the workplace, there will definitely be many demands put on that particular individual. Now, how an individual can control these demands is what the strain will be on the person. Whether he can have it in a better manner or he is not able to manage it, that can lead to a job strain. Well, what are the signs which show that you have workplace anxiety? You feel irritable, you do not feel like coming to work, you also feel very aggressive towards people, you might pick up conflicts and arguments unnecessarily, you start to become a little more aggressive as I mentioned, you do not get any joy out of life and you have a difficult time getting along with people at the workplace. Well friends, now we're going to discuss on the two models of workplace anxiety. The first model is the demand control model and the second one is effort reward imbalance model. Let's take a look at what they are. Well, the first one is, as mentioned, demand control model. Now, on one side you can see we have job demands, on the other side is how do you control that. So, job control. So, if your job demand is low and if you are able to control it in a very low way, that means you are somebody who is very passive, very laid back, relaxed and not worried too much. Well, if your job demands are very high and you do not have the means to control those demands, is when you suffer from high strain, which is also known as distress. Stress is of two types. One is eustress, which is a positive stress, and one is distress, which is a negative form of stress. Well, again, when your job demands are low but your control over those demands is high, is when you have a low strain, means you are able to function absolutely all right. The next one is when the fourth quadrant, which is when your job demands are high but at the same time you're able to control those demands equally well, is when you have active anxiety, which is known as eustress. Now, this will help you understand how or which quadrant you should be in order to make sure that you are not affected by workplace anxiety, and that is definitely the fourth quadrant, wherein you have high demands of stress but you're able to also manage it equally well when you have an active anxiety. The second model is the effort reward imbalance model, which is when you have overcommitment towards certain tasks and duties which have been given out to you. Either it results in high effort or low reward. So if it's high effort, definitely your demands and obligations towards will increase, and if it is low reward, you need to kind of pay a lot of in terms of your esteem. So your self-esteem might go low over here. Now friends, there is also a lot of times when role conflict can cause managing a lot of anxiety at workplace, which can be because a situation in which different roles lead to conflicting expectations from the person. When a person is supposed to be doing 2 or 3 different roles, that person can become anxious because his job the role is not very well defined, which can lead to anxiousness at workplace. Now let's take a look at what are certain work-related stressors. They are work overload. Well, it goes without saying that a lot of people nowadays feel really overloaded with work. Your occupation, your resource inadequacy. At times you might not have the right kind or the many resources that you might need. Your working conditions could be something that is causing you stress, maybe a lot of late nights, etc. Management style, how you're able to manage anxiety. Your monitoring, your job security, as well as role ambiguity, or ambiguity is cluelessness or not having too much clarity on what exactly your role is all about. Well friends, these are all related to work related stressors. Now let's take a look at what is the role of management in reducing workplace anxiety. As we had mentioned sometime before, it is the need of the hour for the managers or the leaders or the top management of that particular company to ensure that people are relieved of workplace anxiousness. Now how they can do it is in this way. Increase the individual's autonomy and control. Give more freedom to your people in order to make them less anxious. Ensure that individuals are compensated properly, the salaries, their incentives, all these really matter to people. So make sure that goes out in time. Maintain the job demands, requirements at healthy levels. Make sure that people are not bombarded with too much to do, and overworking, overcommitment can lead to a lot of anxiousness. Ensure that associates have adequate skills to keep up with the demands of the technical changes. So make sure that regular training is given out. Increase associate involvement in important decision making. Improve the physical working conditions of people. Provide for job security as well as career development. Provide healthy work schedules. Make sure that you do not make people work for many long hours. In fact, nowadays a lot of companies have also come up with flexi work timings, which give the control of to the individual on how many hours they want to log in, and if they also get facilities of work from home. Improve communication to help avoid uncertainty and also ambiguity. So those things need to be encouraged by the managers to make sure that workplace stresses or anxiety can be reduced by following all of these points, which will make sure that people are less anxious at workplace. Well friends, that brings us to the end of this particular module on managing workplace anxiety. I do hope that you have enjoyed listening to this particular module and also taken good takeaways from here in order to manage your anxiety better at your workplace. Thank you very much for watching and viewing us. Do feel free to share your comments and feedback. Thank you once again.